Now we're going to talk about a few accessories that make a difference in the qualities of the photographs you can take with a smartphone camera. These are so important that we're calling them essentials, even though they are accessories and they're added on to the standard equipment that comes with your cameras. The first item in this category is a tripod. There are a lot of tripods out there, not just for cell phone cameras, but for every kind of camera. DSLR, large format, you name it. For the iPhone, the Galaxy, and smartphones in general, there's also quite a broad range of choices, but there are some common characteristics to the tripods that are used with smartphone cameras. Since smartphones are valued partly because they're easier to carry, less bulky, and so forth, it stands to reason lightweight, small tripods that are not extremely bulky and cumbersome have an edge. In this slide, you can see two moderately priced tripods, both of quite high quality, relatively light, sturdy, and easy to expand and contract. The first is from MePhoto, from their travel tripod line, and the second is from ProMaster, also from their travel tripod line. Both these tripods come in around $150 to $200. You can, if you want, look at tripods from a manufacturer like Manfrotto. The tripod, as mentioned, is also essential for panoramic photographs shot with the smartphone cameras, both of the ones that we've looked at. And it's even more important when working with low light and long exposures, not only with cell phone cameras, but for that matter with mirrorless or DSLR cameras. Obviously, this includes not only low ambient light, but also night situations. The second essential accessory that we've put together in its simplest form is a holder and adapter that allows you to use your smartphone on a tripod. One such holder adapter is a smartphone mount and tripod adapter made by Joby. There are a range of comparable adapters, but Joby has received excellent reviews from a range of trade publications, is quite popular, and it's relatively inexpensive. A more varied and complex alternative for the second essential accessory actually combines several essentials. A case that allows for the attachment of external lenses, a range of external lenses, and adapters that make it possible to put your cell phone on a tripod. In this case, they're actually built into the camera case itself. Schneider makes a case. This one is on an iPhone 6s. Looks like a typical cell phone case, and the only difference can be found in one or two places. One is right here, where you have a bayonet mount for lenses, and the other is here, where you have something similar to the shutter on a DSLR camera that allows you to use a shutter like you would use a DSLR camera, and it will, of course, press the volume buttons. The lenses themselves fit into the bayonet mount on the case. They twist in and then are used in conjunction with the standard camera. This particular one is a wide-angle lens. Just twists out. Those switch out and they fit into a little case. Serves as a storage container for the lenses. And it can also be screwed into the base of the case, which then allows you to attach the camera to a tripod, screw it on, and use it the way you would. There are two screw holes on the bottom of the case actually, and one of them allows you to screw the camera onto the tripod adapter itself. So if you have a shoe that comes with a tripod adapter and don't want to use this one, you can screw the camera directly on. The three lenses included in this trio are a macro lens, a super wide-angle lens, and a 2-time telephoto lens. The trio is a bit more pricey than the Joby, but considering the whole package, relatively inexpensive considering the amazing quality of the lenses and the rugged case and adapter, and the elegant design make it both effective and easy to use. And of course, there are other lenses and adapters and cases around. Single lenses, packages. There are also cases that have shutters built into them. This is just one example of a particularly high quality combo at a reasonable price, but there are many other examples out there. So in this slide, we can see the effect of the lenses that are provided with this trio. The first image is this image taken with a standard smartphone lens without any lenses added on. It's also using the standard camera app on the phone, and the phone is an iPhone 6s. The next image is a telephoto version, which is magnified by 2. The third image is a super wide angle version, and finally the macro version. There are a variety of external shutters available. The Muku shutter release. It's an elegantly designed and relatively inexpensive external shutter. There are a number of cases that include a shutter on the case that allow it to be used like a shutter on a DSLR, usually via the volume controls on the cell phone. The only drawback is that it can sometimes cause movement of camera when you depress the shutter, just as pressing the shutter button with your finger when you're using a cell phone camera can cause problems. You can, of course, use the headphone switch, at least on the iPhone 6, and the headphone switch will function like an external shutter. Or you can get an external shutter, which usually comes with an app or works with the standard camera app, and avoids any possibility of jarring the camera while pressing the shutter. Finally, as a bonus, we'll look at a third-party app, something many photographers would also consider an essential accessory. In this case, it's an app that substitutes for the standard camera app. In both cases, the third-party apps are called Manual. The one for the iPhone, Manual, unlocks the exposure settings advanced users prefer to adjust on their own, including full independent control over shutter, ISO, white balance, focus, and exposure compensation. When you're shooting in Manual, you'll be able to view your exposure values, a live histogram, grid overlays, and EXIF data. You can activate the iPhone's LED to serve as a fill flash or delay the shutter for a longer exposure. The only parameter you can't tweak using this Manual camera is aperture, since the iPhone's aperture is fixed. With the Pro mode on the current line of Samsung Galaxy 6 and Edges, most of these features are already available in the standard camera app. The only feature enabled by the third-party app, like Manual on the Samsung Galaxy S6, is the ability to save files in a RAW mode. The phone has the capability, but for some reason Samsung has not enabled it in the standard camera app. If you want it, you need to download the third-party app like the one shown. So for now, that's the scoop on what we think are absolutely essential accessories for each and every photographer using a smartphone as a serious camera. Of course, there are lots of camera apps and add-ons around, and we were only able to show a few.